Well, I'm going to try this again. I got kicked out with my Wi-Fi, my internet. So I'm going to join over here and see if people join. We'll see what happens. We'll see if people get on. Hello. See if people can jump on over here. I got kicked out. We're back. Yay, you guys found me. I'm back on. Hello, hello. I really wanted you guys to see the sunrise. That's honestly why I was doing it. So, I was actually trying to kick that troll off, and then it froze me. It froze me. Hi, you guys. And we're back. Stronger than ever. You missed the troll. Yeah, she was telling me that I shouldn't be showing up. I'm not a savior. Problem is that I've never said I was a savior. That's the last thing I want to do is be a savior. I just share my experiences. I talk about what we're going through. I talk about the best way that I've been able to navigate it. In hopes that it assists you guys. You know? We forget that, you know, a lot of people are in a lot of pain, and a lot of people don't know how to process their own pain. They don't know how to process their own uncomfortable feelings. They don't know how to process their own anger or resentment or guilt. They don't know how to process it. And so what they will do, what most people will do, is be triggered by something that someone says or does, especially online. And then there's a knee-jerk reaction to react to them. And when you react, it feels good. There's a releasing. It's almost like endorphins get released when you're triggered and you respond from that state of being triggered, right? And it's like you almost like you have to do it. And then once you do it, once you say it, you feel better. There's a releasing of the energy inside of you, right? That's why people do what they do online. They're bullies, because it feels good. There's a release. And there's such an unconsciousness. People are so unconscious to what is actually occurring within them that they continue to do it, thinking that it's their truth, that they're just, you know, they're just speaking their truth, that this person's bullshit, this person's that, this whatever. And they're not realizing that there is a benefit, an emotional benefit, an emotional release that's happening that is hurting another person, perhaps, because the individual doesn't know how to just process and feel their own emotion. So pay attention. We all get triggered, right? We all want to, you know, sort of say something to somebody or make a comment or do something at some point, right, throughout your months. Pay attention if you do get triggered, how the immediate knee-jerk reaction is to say something mean, to prove somebody wrong, to like, you know, throw it out to somebody. And if you can pay attention and not actually do it, you'll feel the release that wants to come through. You'll feel that really strong urge to want to get it out. And you'll connect that strong urge of really wanting to get it out with a releasing of an emotion. You might not know what the emotion is, okay? But it's a release. The valve has opened and it's like, oh, and somehow you'll feel better if you react or respond to that trigger. The problem is that all you're doing is perpetuating the trigger response. You're not actually moving out the energies that just want to move through you. And the way that you navigate a trigger so that you can move beyond the trigger response is that you pay attention to when you're triggered. You pay attention to when you want to throw something back on someone else. You pay attention to how it feels, especially if it makes you feel good. And then you start recognizing the moment you get triggered, and you start recognizing, this is for me. This is for me. This is for me. This is mine. This is mine. This is all my own energetic world. This is for me to move through. It's not about the other person. What emotion am I feeling? What emotion just wants to move through me? We typically have a very hard time feeling anger. We have a hard time feeling rage, right? These are emotions that we don't really know what to do with when we feel them. And so when somebody else instigates rage or anger, irritability, then it feels really good to be able to express it onto them. So pay attention to that. We've been dealing with that for quite some time, and it's gotten louder and louder and louder. You know, it's really funny. I have people that will come on, typically on Facebook, and they'll just comment something really rude. And sometimes it's the same people. I'm used to their comments, right? And if I am in a energetic space where I'm feeling frustrated, irritated, annoyed, angry, whatever, if I see their comment, I never block people. I never block people. And the reason I don't block people is because it's not that I haven't wanted to. So there's certain comments on Facebook where I will go and I will hit block and I'll block them. And then I get this the moment I hit block, I get this loud voice, this loud guidance that says, unblock them. This individual needs your messages more than anyone else listening to you. So I immediately unblock and I go on with my day. So my trigger, my knee-jerk reaction is, fuck you, I'm blocking you. You don't get to see my messages. And then immediately this voice comes in and is like, unblock right now. They need your messages more than anyone. And so that's why I never block anyone, because there's a process unraveling for humanity called the evolution in human consciousness. And if my message is triggering somebody's anger or rage, then my hope is that eventually at some point they begin to wake up out of that triggered response. And somehow, some way, my message or somebody else's message activates that rattling. But if I just block them, to me, there's a reason that they're listening. There's a reason that they're coming in. There's a reason that they're coming at me. And for me, it doesn't bother me because I know who I am. So it doesn't personally impact me. Sometimes it does if I'm just like, enough is enough, right? But I don't usually read the comments. And so once in a blue moon when I do, it's like, oh, that's so annoying. And if I'm in a bad mood, I'll go in and want to block the shitheads. But these people that come after us, anybody that comes after you, anybody that's saying mean things to you, anybody that's berating you or belittling you, they're just in a lot of pain, right? We've heard that before. They're just in a lot of pain. It's not your job to hold their pain. It's not your job to be a punching bag. It's not your job to just sit there and take it, right? There are these layers to understanding how to be in this energetic world. So you have to have firm boundaries until you realize that you actually don't need boundaries, right? There a lot of people on social media will say, it's a boundary for me. I have to block people. I get that, until you realize that you don't need boundaries, because nobody can actually impact you once you're truly in a state of absolute sovereignty. Somebody can come in and be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you every day. Maybe it's going to bother other people, but that's for that other person. We can't run from what is happening out there. We can't run from the anger and the rage that people are gonna have and wanna throw on us. We can't just block these people. You can't just block out the world. You know, we have to be able to learn how to navigate it from higher perspectives. That's what we're all learning right now. You know, 2023 is going to, along with recalibrating us, 2023 is going to be a recalibration, right? But on top of the recalibration and realigning ourselves and sort of moving in a little bit of a different direction for a lot of us, can be subtly or in a big way. We're also learning how to, and I speak about this all the time, but we're also learning how to not block the world, not block what we don't want to see, not block what we don't want to hear, not block what we don't want to feel, not block people that we don't want in our lives. This is about learning how to now be in it, how to integrate with family members that aren't in the same awareness as you, how to integrate with coworkers that don't listen to you or believe anything you're saying or have completely different values. That's how you unify in a massive divide. And that is what we're going to be continuing to be literally like pushed into. We're almost like being reunited with humanity again. Right? The last couple of years, there's been this massive separation because there was this huge awakening. And a large majority of humans started seeing things differently than a large amount of humans that didn't see things differently. And when you have that initial shakeup, there's a splitting, this side against this side, right? And then there's all these terms for it. I'm awake, they're asleep. I'm conscious, they're unconscious, which only just perpetuates the divide. It only just perpetuates what it is that we are stepping out of. So all of the awakened people that are calling people sheeple or NPCs or whatever bullshit terms they're doing, all they're doing is perpetuating the state of being they think that they have come out of. That's all that does. And so what we're learning is how to no longer be in a divided state, separate, while we stand in our truths. So I'll give you an example. Last night I was out to dinner and with a friend of mine, and there was a woman at the restaurant that was eating with her mask on. Like she had the mask on and she was eating with it on. Triggered me big time, right? Because I went through all these different emotions and I was aware of what I was going through. It was like, okay, I didn't understand it. It made me angry at first. Then I just got curious. Then I got angry again. Right. There was a massive divide between my beingness and this person's beingness. Right. And what I was practicing was, okay, how can I in this moment have compassion for a stranger? How can I try to understand that I don't understand her way of being, that I don't understand what's going on in her body, that I don't understand what she's feeling, or obviously she's feeling a lot of fear. Nobody would do that in their right mind unless they're feeling a lot of anxiety and fear. So then I'm like, if I was feeling a lot of anxiety and fear and that's what made me feel better, would that change the way I viewed her? So I was playing in all these different situations. You know, I always say things like, okay, if Jesus was on the planet right now, what would Jesus do? How would he respond to it? Or, you know, so this is what we're going to be confronted with. I'm not saying we're going to be confronted with people wearing masks, eating food. We're going to be confronted with differences in 2023. We're going to be confronted with more and more of a separation or a divide between humanity. And 2020 and 2021 perpetuated this divide. And the reason that 2020 and 2021 perpetuated this divide is so that we could see that we are in divide. So that we could actually see that for a very long time in humanity, we have been unconsciously in a division, thinking that we're somehow all getting along, even if we don't hold the same beliefs. And then 2020 came and it rattled all of that. It literally, there was a volcano eruption of divide. Look how different you are from these people that you thought you were similar to, right? Look how different. I mean, I'm a single, right? So I'm like in the dating pool, and it's very different for me to date now than it was 2 years ago. So having that awareness allows a deeper compassion and empathy for humanity. It's very interesting what's happening. It's very interesting what we're stepping into. That we are not designed in this evolution in human consciousness to continue to perpetuate a divide as we walk deeper into divide. We have to pay attention to that. We have to, because we are learning how to stand with everybody on this planet and not run and hold a deeper sense of love for what humanity is going through. That's evolution. This evolution of opening heart, of stepping into unity more, of not perpetuating divide. First of all, it's not easy. And second of all, it requires you to not feel compassion. It requires you to want to yell at somebody. It requires that of you because that's how you know what you're in. Right? It's the same thing as what I was saying earlier in Untangled before it got cut off. The only way that you are going to know that the vibration within your body has shifted is not because you're going to force yourself into positive vibes, and you're going to force yourself to positive think, and you're going to force yourself to feel love and joy. The way you're going to know that your body is in a higher vibration is that everything that you're doing no longer feels right. That you can't keep doing the same thing. That's when you know your body's in a higher vibration. And it's time to recalibrate with that vibration, which is why it's extremely important to not fight against what's showing up for you. For 6 months, I fought against slowing down. One, because I didn't know how to slow down. I didn't even know what it meant. I literally didn't know what to do. I don't even know how to slow down. I can't do it. Right. And if you are at least aware of what is happening, if you are at least aware of the internal compass, like your intuition, are you aware that every single time you go and spend time with this person, it's constantly saying, this is the end, this is the end, this is the end, this is the end. If you're at least aware of that internal compass, which is connected to the frequency of your body, you'll start to remember, you'll start to see what's happening here. Oh my God. I'm continuing to do something that intuitively I know I don't want to do anymore. Compassion, because I'm still doing it. There's a frequency within my body that is in a higher vibrational state than when I was doing this with this individual or with this job or with this place or with whatever. And now I just need to trust that there will be a moment where this that I've been doing and doing and doing and fighting against will merge into this higher frequency, which means that you have to take action, but you take action from this more surrendered state. So action from a more surrendered state is constantly showing up for yourself and feeling what is, constantly feeling what is. Oh my God, my intuitiveness is saying no more. Or my intuitiveness is saying yes to this. My intuitiveness, right? Just because we have an intuitive gut feeling or hit doesn't mean we follow it. Probably 60% of the time we don't follow it because our intuitive hits are going to pull us out of patterns. Our intuitiveness is going to pull us out of programming. Our intuitiveness is going to pull us out of limiting beliefs, old behaviors, addictive patterns. Your intuitiveness is going to pull you into newness. It's going to pull you into that realigned state. It's going to pull you into your manifestations and intentions. Right? So you're always paying attention to that intuitiveness, but you're also learning how to have compassion for the fact that you're so deeply programmed that following the intuitiveness, which is that higher vibration, can be scary. You're not exactly sure how to do it. Intuitiveness is your higher self speaking to you. Intuitiveness is the frequency that's increasing in your body that's in a higher vibration than what you've been in. And you don't know how to necessarily do it. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know how it's going to pan out. You're not supposed to. When you start living in a higher vibrational state, that doesn't mean that you don't still feel uncomfortableness. You don't still feel pain or sadness or irritability or frustration or anxiety or stress. That's not what it means. When you start moving into higher and higher vibrational states, higher ways of being on the planet, meaning new perspectives, that what happens is that you start living in new ways. And one of those ways of living is you realize when the intuitiveness continues to hit you that you're not going to know what's coming. You won't be able to plan. You won't be able to figure it out. If you're trying to be 5 steps ahead of what is being guided by you, your intuition is saying, okay, it's time to do ... And you're saying, well, I can't do that until I know ... Then you are still stuck in the older patterns, which is fine. Just be aware of that. Just be aware of how you're being, and then have compassion for yourself. Because whatever is being provided to you right now, whatever intuitive hits are not going away, whatever intuitiveness that you're not necessarily following because you don't exactly know how it's going to pan out, that is you guiding you. That's you shifting. That's you evolving. It's all new. You can't figure it out. You can't make sense of it. You can't grab any of it. We have to start to practice being okay in this state. And the more that we can practice being in that state, the more we will fall into flow, the more we will allow whatever it is to just move through us, the more we will not be afraid of fear, right? The more we will be able to get along with others. When you are not fighting your own internal reality, you will no longer fight other realities, other people's realities. When you're finally calm with everything that is occurring within you, even if it's a shit show inside of you, you will be okay with how others are being. When you have finally surrendered and accepted all the ways in which you experience life, you will be able to allow others to experience the life the way they're doing it. It's when you can't accept your own experiences, your own feelings, your own emotions and thoughts and beliefs and behaviors and ways of being, when you can't settle in and allow this to be okay, you definitely won't be able to settle in and allow others to do their stuff. In fact, I would argue that those that are most combative, those that are the biggest bullies, those that are ones that are coming after everybody else are the ones that are in the most pain, because it's almost impossible for them to sit with themselves. And many of these individuals would say that they are healed. They would say that they are sovereign, that they are, that they don't have any work to do, blah, blah, blah. A very sovereign, very humble, grounded, integrated, aware, conscious human doesn't go after another human. They don't berate, bully, name call, put down, push aside, divide, make wrong. You just don't. That's not to say that you don't have opinions and beliefs of how life is designed to be lived, how you would live life, but it's a very different state of being. It's a very different state of being. Does that make sense? Can you guys hear the birds? Well, you don't have to when you are in some sort of experience with another human that can't see what you can see in them. It's not your job to make them see it. It's not your job to try to convince your ex-husband that he's a narcissist or that he doesn't know how to feel or that he doesn't listen. It's not your job to try to get them to understand. Your role, your job is to just express your experience. You're just expressing your experience without an attachment that they get it. It's not about them getting it, especially if it's an ex-husband or an ex-wife or an ex-partner. It's about you expressing what is for you. That's it. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. But one of the biggest states of suffering in friendships and relationships and partnerships is this need to change the other person, this need to get the other person to see them the way you see them. The moment we detach from that, and the moment we simply just show up and express what it is that we're seeing and thinking and feeling and being and whatever it is in that friendship, relationship, partnership, you'll be in a much deeper state of flow with that partnership. There's a detachment while you're still in it. It's not that you're detaching from somebody. You're detaching from the grab or the hold of trying to change someone. Essentially, you can't change anyone, but you can express what you're feeling. I feel like every time I have a conversation with you, you don't listen. If you express that, but there's no need for them to get it, then it's your choice whether you stay in that or not. I'm staying in this even though my partner doesn't understand that this is what I need. That's your fault, not theirs. This idea of like we're victims to things because people aren't waking up. We're victims to things because people don't see it the way we do. We're victims to things because we keep telling them what they need to do to change and they're not doing it. No, that's being a victim to the world. Being sovereign, making choice based on what you're thinking and feeling and being and doing is saying, this is what I think, this is what I feel, this is what I'm being, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to express it. This individual is going to do, think, feel, be, however they're going to be, think, feel, do, respond. And then from that state, you choose. You choose from that state. You choose from the state of your truest expression, their truest expression, and then you make a decision from there. You don't make a decision once they see your truth. You don't make a decision because you're like I'm only going to leave. I'm only going to stay with this person if they ... I'm going to leave this person if they don't ... No. When you show up in your truest expression, they show up in their truest expression, and then there's two true expressions showing up. Then you choose that sovereignty. You choose what is showing up in both people's truest expressions. This person is a narcissist. They don't listen. They're not listening. It's all about them. They're deflecting, they're gaslighting, whatever that is. Okay, great. That's what's showing up for you. You're continuing to speak truth. They're continuing to have the same patterns. Choose. You're not a victim. This person's not handcuffing you. That's hard for us to accept in friendships and relationships and partnerships. We always want to blame the other person for why we can't leave or why it's not working. or why things haven't changed. If we do that in our personal lives, think of what we're going to do in the external as the world gets crazier. We're going to continue to blame the external world for the fact that we're being controlled. We're going to blame the external world for being mind controlled. We're going to blame the external world for being manipulated. So the key is the more that you are aware of the manipulation, the more that you are aware of the mind control, the more that you are aware that you are being poisoned every single day by food and water and air and 5G and all of that, the more that you are aware of that, then you become sovereign. You awaken up out of the slumber that somebody's doing something to you, if you're even aware of that. And once you wake up out of that slumber that somebody's doing something to you, then you become sovereign and you start making choices to navigate what you're in. You don't wait for the external to change. You don't wait for the governments to stop poisoning us. You don't wait for the governments to stop controlling us. You don't wait for the governments to stop doing mind control. You don't wait for the governments to stop the corruption. You don't wait for the governments to stop child trafficking. You don't wait for the government or the people in power, these big corporations, the Bill Gates of the world. You don't wait for them to change. You don't wait for them to wake up. You wake up in it, and then you make change from that awareness in little steps or big steps. And that's how we evolve on this planet. You stop blaming Bill Gates. You have awareness of what Bill Gates is doing. You have awareness of what the Rockefellers are doing. You have awareness of what these big families are doing. You have awareness of what the governments are doing. And that awareness is what gives you power. That awareness is what gives you freedom. As soon as you are aware, you become free. As soon as you are aware, you have the opportunity to become extremely sovereign. You stop playing the victim role. You stop yelling at the Bill Gates of the world. That's a huge amount of energy you're wasting. You start living life the way you want to live it, while you still simultaneously stand in that corruption, and you see it, and you watch people fall for it, and you learn how to have compassion and not divide, and not anger and rage. So as you're feeling your own anger come up, you don't throw it out on other people that love Bill Gates. You're learning how to have compassion and unify somehow in this massive divide. You learn how, instead of yelling at the Bill Gates of the world, you say to yourself, hold on a second. How am I being? How am I living? What am I choosing in my life? Am I eating all this shitty food and then blaming Bill Gates? Am I surrounding myself with tons of 5G and then blaming the powers that be? Like, how are you choosing to be? This coming year is all about realizing that there's nowhere to run. Nowhere. And so what do you need to take care of yourself, your family, your friends? What do you need to navigate this? And pay attention to the amount of energy that you are wasting by yelling at people, by fighting people. Pay attention to what it's teaching you when you see something that you just can't comprehend. Are you learning more compassion? Yes. Are you learning how to stand in a divide and create some sort of unified field, meaning we can all be here? That's the quickest way for unification. Are you learning how to slow down? Are you learning how to trust your intuition and to remember what intuition is? Are you trusting that the vibration in your body is increasing and that you don't have to do some sort of woo-woo thing in order to increase the frequency of your body? Are you learning and remembering that every single thing that you feel is just moving through you? Thank you for the super chat, Vintage Love. Are you aware that every single thing throughout your day is giving you an opportunity to show up for humanity, to serve humanity? You don't serve humanity once you're happy. You don't serve humanity once everything's in alignment. You don't serve humanity once you're happy and go lucky and like no more stress. You don't serve humanity once you have the perfect job. You don't serve humanity once all your ducks in a row. You don't serve humanity once you're in love. You don't serve humanity once your kids are out of the house. You don't serve humanity once the divorce is finalized. You serve humanity right here, right now. It's never going to be a perfect storm where you can show up and serve now. You have to learn to serve in this chaos, in this anger, in this fear, in this. You have to serve from in it. You have to serve from the job you don't like. If we continue to wait for the stage to be set perfectly for us, we're missing the entire purpose of being in the human body right now. The entire purpose of you being in the human body is to assist in this evolution and in this shift in consciousness. And it's happening right now. It's not happening when you are, feeling better, when your body is not in sickness, when you're capable of being able to, I don't know, run around, when whatever it is, whatever conditions that you're placing on your life that you're waiting for in order for you to show up is bullshit. That's what we're learning. That's what 2023 is going to rattle us even deeper into, is that our role is to show up right here, right now, regardless of what you're in. And how can you impact a human in any way possible every single day in a positive way? How can you assist humanity every single day in one simple way? That's how we shift an entire human collective. Simple, small acts of kindness throughout our day. It's not about, creating, we don't have to create these large communities, and we don't have to be in these meditative states all the time. And we don't have to, start some sort of, Reiki service in order to serve humanity and assist in this evolution in consciousness. It's as simple as smiling at somebody that's having a hard day that you don't even realize is having a hard day. That shifts humanity. These simple acts every day. Simply realizing that you showing up at your job that you can't stand and asking a coworker how their day is or how their night's going, or thanking them for showing up or whatever that is. That's assisting humanity. There you go. All right, you guys, I got to get going. I love you. Thank you for being here. There's going to be 2 lives. The first one cut out at 24 minutes. This one's a little bit longer. Thank you so much, you guys. It's really exciting to walk into 2023. It's going to be a miraculous year. It's going to be a lot of magic and a lot of, there's going to be a lot of pummels, a lot of us being rattled into what we still aren't seeing and accepting and acknowledging. We're going to be forced to stand in more of a divide in order to unify. We're going to be forced to see that we don't have compassion in order to have compassion. We're going to be asked to rest more. We're going to be asked to slow down. We're going to be asked to feel even more. Your intentions and manifestations are going to come online faster. You're going to start pivoting faster. You're going to start living in much different ways. Everything that we have been practicing or recognizing is coming. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nelia. Everything that we have been practicing for the last couple of years is going to come into physical manifestation this year, if we believe it, if we follow, if we trust. It's going to be a great year. Really, really excited. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday for Untangled episode 32 in the new year. It'll be 2023. I'm really, really, really excited. Cannot wait. And be gentle with yourselves, be gentle with others, and do a simple act of kindness today. I love you. Mwah.